Hey, what's up everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be going over the 5 most overpowered ultimates in the game. And the thing about something being overpowered is that everyone has a different idea on what they consider to be OP. Depending on your elo, different ranks find different ultimates to be strong. So I wanted to make sure that it is absolutely clear that the ultimates on this list are just based on my opinion after collaborating with a lot of the top tier players. So if there's something you don't agree with on this list, feel free to debate them in the comments. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Before we talk about the top 5 though, I wanted to quickly go over a couple of honorable mentions. For the first one, we're going to be talking about Breach's Rolling Thunder. This ultimate is insane, being able to stun pretty much the entire enemy team and turn them into some really easy kills. The area is just so wide and hard to miss that it makes it ideal for sight takes. Getting hit by Rolling Thunder usually means that you're going to die, and that's why it needs to be on this list. The second ultimate in honorable mentions though is Sage's Resurrect. This ult is just so strong, effectively giving your team a 5v6 for a round, and I've seen so many Sages clutch rounds by using her ultimate. However, there are a couple of issues with this ultimate, which is why it doesn't quite make the top 5. For one, it gives the enemy team information, letting them know exactly where you are based on your body that you rest. It also forces you to hold the body for a few seconds since your teammate is going to be a sitting duck while they're coming back. With that being said though, this ultimate still is incredibly strong and definitely deserves an honorable mention. And for the third and final mention, we have Astra's Cosmic Divide, which is really good for helping your team get onto sight by blocking certain choke points similar to a smoke. But unlike a regular smoke, enemies also can't shoot through this, so it's impossible to get killed by random while they're spraying through the wall. It also is really strong for post plants to stop the enemy team from pushing through. Nothing is harder for a defending team to deal with than having to retake a site through an Astra wall. Cosmic Divide is also really good for faking site executes since it dampens noise and makes it harder for the enemy team to know exactly what's going on the other side. With that being said, that's all I have to say when it comes to our honorable mentions though, so let's get into the main list. To kick off the list of our 5 most overpowered ultimates, we have Jett's BLADESTORM. Is this one really a surprise? This ultimate is effectively a free rifle, except it has perfect accuracy while you're running, jumping, and flying in the air. Jett's knives are so good for keeping the team's economy healthy since you can use it on save rounds when your team's economy is poor. And trust me that there is no better ultimate for winning eco rounds that you have no business winning than Jett knives. On top of that, if you have enough credits to full buy but one of your teammates don't, you can buy them and then use your knives to increase your number of full buys throughout the round. Finally, this ultimate is also great for helping Jett save up those credits to buy an operator, while also making sure to still have a weapon on the rounds where your team is full buying. Even after the nerfs a while back where Jett's knives don't reset off of the right clicks, they're still very powerful. The only thing that really changed is that you can't right click cheese multiple kills anymore from close range. Besides that, BLADESTORM is still a pretty overpowered ultimate and deserves a spot on this list. For the second spot on our list though, we have Sova's Hunter's Fury. There are very few things scarier than getting tagged by a Sova drone and then hearing that voice line. If a Sova is good enough, they can pretty much guarantee at least 1 kill every time it's online before the round even starts. And that being said, it's not even too crazy uncommon to see a Sova ultimate get 2 kills when a team is mispositioned. Not only is it good at getting your team a nice opening pick, but it can also be used after your team gets the bomb down on attack to stall the enemy team from defusing. Well, what about when you're not attacking? Well, on defense, you can also use it to stall a plant by ulting common plant spots to force the enemy team to dodge it and take a bunch of damage or even die. And it's not like you have to just ult the spike either. You can also just use the ultimate in common spots that players may be to make them run around, and even if you don't hit them, it'll put them into an uncomfortable position. One thing I love about Hunter's Fury is that it's pretty much useful in all of the ranks of the game. If you're at a lower rank and you don't really know what you're doing, just saving your ultimate for the bomb is normally enough to win rounds. But as you get better and better at the game, you'll also find that the ultimate can get so much more value as you continue to improve. This allows for the ultimate to be pretty relevant at almost all ranks of the game, which is not something that can be said for every single ultimate. So if you're looking for a powerful ultimate that will carry rounds, Hunter's Fury is your ult. It may seem difficult to use at times, but don't worry, if you want to learn, we have a full course available on the website that will teach you exactly how to play Sova in almost every single scenario. We also have those courses available for every single agent in the game, so if you're really looking to master the game, SkillCapped.com is the place to look. Let's get back on the video though. For the third spot on the list, we have KILLJOY'S Lockdown. Now, there is something I did want to mention about KILLJOY'S ultimate that I think is important to talk about, which is that this ultimate does have some good counters, such as Sova's Hunter's Fury, Brimstone's ultimate, and even Shock Darts and Molly's. But that doesn't change the fact that the lockdown is so powerful. When you place down her ultimate, it forces the enemy team to react. Also, if you keep good track of the enemy team, you can even avoid all of these counters that I mentioned before. This ultimate is just so strong at clearing a site, whether you're attacking or retaking on defense. forcing the enemy team to either clear the site, push you and try to destroy the lockdown, or just get detained on site and die. This ultimate is insane. There are also so many maps where this ultimate is just straight busted. The more obvious examples are on like Fracture with the ultimate below Tunnel, where you can clear out the site and force the enemy team all the way back into spawn. Or even on Ascent, you can place it on either site and you're going to be forcing the enemy team into a very bad position. So when it comes to overpowered ultimates, I definitely would add KILLJOY'S Lockdown on that list. Now, with 3 ultimates down, we are coming near the end of this list, but don't worry, there are still some very powerful ones I have yet to talk about, such as VIPER'S Pit, which actually takes the next spot on our list. With Viper being so prevalent in the meta, I'm pretty sure all of us have experience trying to push through this thing at least once. When attacking, if you see VIPER'S Pit, you generally just book it to the other site right away because you know that pushing through that thing is a death trap. And on defense, if the enemy team gets the spike down and then uses that ultimate, it's going to be a very rough retake ahead of you. Unless you have something like Sova Drone to tag her, or you just get a lucky spray on her through the smoke, trying to just blindly walk through that ultimate is just lethal. It's one of the best post-plant tools in the game for clutching out rounds, and I've seen Vipers win 1v3s with it more times than I can count. I've heard a lot of top tier players talk about how it's not actually that great of an ultimate if you can just trade your teammates out, but the problem in matchmaking is that's not going to happen. And for that, VIPER'S Pit definitely deserves a spot on this list. And so we finally reached that last spot on this list of overpowered ultimates, and I'm probably about to catch you really off guard with this last entry if you haven't been playing against it much. KO's NULL command is probably one of the strongest ultimates in the game right now, and I don't know if it was the buffs that he received recently or what, but he shouldn't be taking this ultimate lightly. There is pretty much no better ultimate for getting your team onto site than this one. Turning off all of the enemy's abilities means that you can't really slow down a push led by the KO's ult, and if you're playing on site, you're pretty much screwed. Also, KO is probably going to be the entry for his team, so if you do end up killing him and get traded immediately after, then the enemy team can just resurrect him and it's like you didn't even get a kill at all. And now, since the changes where KO's ult still continues while he's downed, your abilities are guaranteed to be turned off for the entire duration of the ultimate, regardless of if you were able to take him out or not. I really think a lot of people are sleeping on KO's ultimate right now, and all I can say is watch out when you have to play against it yourself. I will say this ultimate does require a little bit of teamwork compared to some of the other ones, since it does require your team to push in with you and take control of the site so that you're able to res, but when your teamwork is there, NULL command is a very deadly ultimate. Not to mention, it even has the capability of canceling other ultimates in the game, which is just crazy. Anyway, though, that is going to conclude our list of the top 5 most overpowered ultimates in Valorant. And again, this list is largely based on my opinion, so if you have any other suggestions for ultimates that deserve a spot, leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Also, remember to leave a like if you made it this far into the video, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's all that we have for this video, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.